Thanks for the support as a channel member, Chris P. Boys and girls, just wanted to start this episode off with a massive thank you for the support on this new series so far. I've said a couple of times on stream that I was super nervous uploading this series because it's so different from anything I've done before, both in the style of presenting it and also the save itself, the youth academy stuff, the building a nation stuff, the being in a foreign country stuff. It's all new and I was afraid. And the support on it has just been incredible. So thank you for the support that you have shown. It's encouraged me to jump outside of my comfort zone more often. So hopefully we'll see lots more wonderful creative stuff on the channel going forward. And yeah, just thank you. Hello and welcome to part 4 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a top-of-the-table clash against Giannina, and also the first of 3 games in 5 against Apollon Smyrnis, who we're playing in both the league and in a 2-legged cup game. Talking of the cups, since you were last with me, everything has been going well, including knocking Super League team Panathinaikos out of the Greek Cup in the 5th round, and we beat them 2-0 in the first leg, did lose away from home in the second leg, but you know what, Panathinaikos are mid-table in the league above. It gives us all sorts of confidence that not only are we a very good team in this league that we're in, but as and when we do get promoted, we're actually probably capable of mixing it up with the mid-table teams in the division above, which is awesome. It also means that we're now in the 6th round of the Greek Cup. There's not many, I mean, there's a few completely, I guess, non-league teams they are, but there's not many lower league teams left in this. It's largely Super League clubs, and we've already beaten one, so let's go win the... We're probably not going to win the Greek Cup, but let's go win the Greek Cup. We're probably not going to win the Greek Cup. But it was also nice to see that we got 7,000 fans for the Panathinaikos game. So if we do get promoted, hopefully we'll see some larger attendances than the ones we get for our home games at the moment. Because despite being unbeaten and top of the league, we're averaging like 500, 600 fans at home. And as you can see, even for some of the away games, the away game against Giannina got 2,000 fans at their place. Be interesting to see how many people turn up for the return fixture. They're the team that got relegated from the Super League with us last year. They're also second in the league this year, although they're 8 points behind us. They basically need to come out and win this to challenge us for the title. But then I guess that's not even how it works because of how it splits off into the championship group. Everyone's got to play each other twice more in this top half. So being top of the table when the actual league part is done is only the first part of the job. I always forget how these fancy leagues work. But as you can see, we've also got the top 2 scorers in the division in Nikos and Blazic. And the top 3 players in the division, Larea, Blazic, Chuchu, most assists, Iritia and Chuchu. Henderson's got most clean sheets. We're a good team at this level. And hopefully that continues today in these 2 games. So we're going with Henderson in goal, a back four, Chuchu, Zizopoulos, Larea and Balakis, Halilaj at the base of the midfield with Fat John and Blazic ahead of him, and then Iritia and Thomas, Iritia, I am saying that right, I think, and Thomas supporting Nikos up front. Let's get into the game, and let's hopefully get a decent crowd into our stadium, because we haven't, have we? I don't know why we're only getting 500 fans. I don't know what a good attendance is in Greece. I want them to pick up where we left off. We can't, so let's just keep our good run of form going. It is, thinking in terms of the long-term future of the save, it is troubling that we're getting so few fans through the door, because even when we do get promoted, even as and when we get into Europe, if we haven't got the fans to back us, and there's no massive TV deals here in Greece, so without big TV deals, without fans coming through the door, money is always going to be an enormous issue for us. So it would have been nice for a few more people to turn up today. It's completely deserted. It also looks like quite an overcast, dark day. But I guess we are in deepest, darkest winter. And as we learnt on yesterday's episode, it gets cold in Greece in the winter, apparently. I find it hard to believe myself. But how cold is it today in freezing cold, wintry Greece? Let's have a little look. It is 5 degrees and breezy in Greece today. Does that sound right? It just doesn't sound right to me. I've never seen a picture of Greece where it didn't look sunny. Fat John's won the ball back in midfield there wonderfully, and Iritia plays into Fat John again, and Fat John has done an absolute screamer from about 35 yards out. Fat John has just hit it really. Fat John's put his weight behind that one. Look at this. Iritia plays it, and it's perhaps not 35 yards, maybe 25, 30. He looked further away from the other angle. Perspective. It's just the perspective when looking at him. It's still a good goal. Fat John puts us 1-0 up in such an important game. And now just before half-time, there's a chance for an equaliser, but it's cleared. And hopefully we do make it through to half-time with the lead. Nikos trying to get a little bit of a counter-attack break going there. In fact, he does. He nicks the ball. Nikos has nicked the ball back, but can't apply the finish. Would have been lovely to go 2-0 up just on the stroke of half-time. There's still the chance to do it. Choo-choo with the corner. Nikos is there. It falls to Blazic, who's been scoring for fun from midfield this year, and he's absolutely clattered, and we should just about have enough time to take this free kick. It's Iritia to take it. He's, rather than shooting, he's floated it forward towards Fat John. This is straight off the training ground. We should probably not bother going to training anymore. That was insane what went on there. Right, guard against complacency. All that... Not even 800 people here. Oh, we don't have any fans. I guess it's a side effect of being in Athens. And how many other big clubs are there in Athens? I mean, Olympiakos are one, I guess, I think. AEK Athens would be another one. I don't know where geographically Greek clubs are, but I guess there's a lot of local competition for us being in Athens. But we've got to find a way to draw fans back through the door, and I just hope that promotion will do that, and having those big clubs turn up week in, week out will start to get bums on seats. Because at the moment, it's just seats. All you can see on that picture is seats. Literally no bums in view, which is not my experience of when I went to Greece on holiday to Zante. Does that even count as Greece? It's one of the islands, isn't it? I've never been to mainland Greece. Right. Karagounis is going to come on for Thomas. And Blazic is not having the best. It's his first poor game he's had, really. Kyriakidis can come on. Although, really, he's a wide player as well. But I think he'll be fine just sitting in there. I forget we're playing against the only other good team in the division. So perhaps we shouldn't mess around doing stuff like that too much. But I still think we'll be okay. Choo-choo leading the charge. Why does nobody sit on the bottom tier? Is that a Greek thing? I still don't. Is it cheaper to sit up there? Is it because it's a better view? I don't know why everyone's on the upper tier. Do we not open the lower tier for matches? I guess why would you open both tiers when there's less than 1,000 people turning up to a 15,000 capacity stadium? I doubt there's anybody on this side at all. I think we've just opened the upper tier on the bit that kind of goes around the side and that back bit. Right, Nikos is going to come off Ioannidis as the final change, and hopefully we manage to hold on. A late equaliser here for Giannina would trouble me. As it stands, 11 points clear at the 13-game mark, and we're looking very good, even with the second half of the season with the Championship breakaway group thing. I'm assuming points carry over from the first part, and it doesn't all reset. If it resets, I'll be gutted. That'll be why no one else is trying. We'll go into it with a 13-point lead, and it won't matter. Here's your late equaliser. Wanderson does well, though, and stops it from happening. Good work from Wanderson. And there we go. We have picked up a win in the top of the table clash. A very important result. I now need to go and check the rules. I'm assuming points carry over. Championship group. Teams entering this stage will start with all their stats from Super League 2, along with 100% of their points gained. Yes. Right, we have a bit of a problem. I thought it was an isolated incident, but all of a sudden we've got players whose contracts are up, and I didn't realise their contracts are up at the end of the season, and every single one of them, the moment their contracts come up, is this a Greek thing? Offers come in, and they immediately all want to leave and won't discuss contracts. So Larea, who's been an absolute star for us at the back this year, is our best defender by miles, leading player for most Super League sides. He's one of the reasons why we're doing so well, because he's far too good for us. He's played every game. He just won't discuss the deal. I've had to agree to sell him for 110,000 because he was kicking off. Luckily, we've not had bids of that yet, although there is one that's just come in now by the looks of it. So Larea's going to be leaving. Choo Choo, who again, far too good for us. Good player for most Super League sides. Been ever present. Does he want to discuss a new deal? Of course he doesn't. He's currently unhappy. Why is he unhappy? He's unhappy because of the interest being shown in him. The interest being shown in him is today. As soon as he hits 6 months before his contract is due, as soon as we get this message, now we get the offers. And they're pathetic offers. I mean, Choo Choo, how? How could we even contemplate selling him for £20,000? We're nearly £1 million in debt. Money's a problem. Money is a problem here in Greece. Choo Choo, please don't leave. What's it going to take to keep you here? Nothing will change my mind. My heart is set on leaving and it's not going to change. I thought we had a connection. Is it because I can't say your name? If I start calling you Diamantis Chouchoumis, will you calm down? Oh, I understand. If they offer a reasonable amount for you, right. 22 grand's not a reasonable amount. You're a good player for the division above. £1 million would be a reasonable amount. 60,000 would be a oh God. So I'm selling him for 22 grand then, I guess. Don't even know who this guy is. He can go. He can leave. Oh, boys and girls, it is all falling apart. And Mrs Wearmouth nowhere to be found to help me out with this. Half the team now want to leave. Team cohesion's gone. They all want to go. Offers coming in for everybody. Nobody wants to renew contracts. We're in such a bad financial situation. Like, Larea has been fantastic. I want to keep him to help us get into the next division, but he won't discuss a contract with us. He's leaving. We've got to sell him for 115,000 because if we don't sell him now, he goes for free in the summer and derails us in the meantime because he's unhappy because he wants to leave. 6 players unhappy at the club. At the end of the last match, everything was going beautifully. And now the entire team all want to leave. Larea's gone. We have nobody to replace him. This is where the youth academy starts to... What? Excuse me? Due to a sell-on clause guaranteeing him 100% of the agreed transfer fee, Juan Larea will receive £115,000 following his move from Apollon to Hurricane. What absolute madness is this? Now Fat John's unhappy. Yeah, Fat John, you're unhappy. Imagine how I feel. I don't even know what to say. I'm flabbergasted, Fat John. He wanted to leave. Sorry, but I think you've caved to player power here. So, what outcome are you looking for here, Fat John? Do you want me to agree with you and cave to player power again? Or do you want me to argue with you to prove I'm not going to cave to player power, thus upsetting you in the process? I don't see that there's a way for me to win here, Fat John. I can't replace him because he was irreplaceable. He was one of the best players in the country. Never mind at our club. Great prospects. Sorry, but you're completely delusional. Sorry, Fat John, are you here from the comments section? He's left, and that isn't changing. Move on, Fat John. So he wants to leave as well. So, to summarise, and we've got 2 players who agree with him as well. To summarise, we've sold one of our best players, A, to fix the financial problem, and B, to reduce the number of unhappy players at the club. We've now sold him. He's taken all of the money with him, and someone else has now replaced him as unhappy. So all we've done is weakened the team with literally no upside to the situation at all. I mean, this doesn't bode well for you other lads who want to leave on the same basis. Choo-choo. Let me have a look at your contract. It doesn't mention anything about him getting 100%. Where would I even see? Where? Iritia, you're Argentinian. Have you got the same deal? Sell-on fee percentage 100%. You ain't leaving then, are you? What possible incentive have I got to sell you before your contract expires? If you're leaving for free, either way. Not going to happen. You're staying now. Absurd. The other problem we're having is those players who haven't even asked to leave yet, like Nikos. There's now been an offer from Kaiserslautern to bring him in at the end of his contract. I'm assuming he's going to be the same situation we've just had with Thomas, in that we can't even offer him. Oh, he actually might agree to a contract. Thomas wanted like $4,000 a week, and so he's going to go somewhere else at the end of his contract because we just can't afford to meet the terms that these players want. We don't have the money to do what you want to do. Right, Nikos, hopefully, is in on a new 2-year deal. We might be able to keep some of this squad together, but there's going to be a lot of them leaving. Nikos left anyway, or will be leaving anyway in the summer, so that's our top scorer done. In other news, the UK's not leaving the EU. I've not had that in any of my England-based saves, so that would have been a handy thing to have. And all of my players want to leave. Fat John should go on the transfer list, apparently. I mean, there'd be riots. He's one of our star players. Is he another one who doesn't want to sign a new... For goodness sake, Fat John. Yeah, I agree then. He should go on the transfer list. We should cash in. Oh, Thomas is leaving because we couldn't offer him anywhere near that. Now there's offers for Blazic, who had agreed a new contract. Has he actually signed it? Of course he hasn't. We agreed a new contract with him a week ago, but now there's other clubs in that are going to ruin my day. I don't even know who Marko Markovski is. I mean, he can leave. We don't want him. He can go. Choo Choo's leaving as well. I don't know if I confirmed that with you, but Choo Choo leaves in like a week for 25,000. How can one episode turn so far on its head? This is where the financial problems and all that stuff really starts to come in. I thought this was too easy. Well, after what has been a very stressful time, we've made it through to match day. I thought I was going to lose like 3 of our under-19s as well, at which point I was just going to have a complete breakdown. But luckily, they had automatic contract extensions that I could trigger and then offer them longer contracts off the back of that. So they should be secure, but... secure is definitely not a word you can use to describe this football club. With our insecure finances, we're falling deeper and deeper into debt all the time. Our players don't want to be here. We've got no budgets. I mean, imagine if and when we get promoted, what on earth is a transfer window going to be like at this club? We've got our new look defence of Choo Choo. Well, Choo Choo's going to be gone in a week. Zizopoulos, Kyrgias and Balakis now in the absence of Larea. Other than that, it is the same team that you saw in the last game, although obviously several of these now going to be leaving. The entire front three, for example, all going to be leaving in the summer, all already sorted. So, oh no. Oh. It's gonna be a challenge. We need to get some scouting done, get some players in. What we need to do is hope that our first youth intake that comes through, whenever it comes through, is sensational and solves all of our problems. Talking of sensational, Blazic has just got his 11th goal of the season. I hope he stays. I know he's 34 years old, but he's been so important for us this year with these goals from midfield. I've offered him a 2-year deal. It's just in an attempt to try and keep him at the club. I don't know if it'll work because it's a 2-year deal on not very much money. So I guess it'll just come down to whether he wants to go and earn big for a year quickly, or whether he wants a 2-year deal, a bit of security. Is there such a thing as security? The club could go out of business. Oh, well, I really was. When I was recording yesterday's episode and we were just winning every game easily, I genuinely did have a few thoughts of, this is so easy. this series is going to get really boring really quickly. And goodness me, did Football Manager have a plan for me? And we've just conceded a goal. We don't concede goals, especially against teams that are hovering around between the championship group and the loser group. I forget their proper name. I assume it's the loser group. Is this in absence of Larea we now concede goals? I think that's only the third league goal we've conceded all season, which I don't like this if this is a new trend, especially because this is a team we've now got to play over 2 legs in the Greek Cup, in the hopes that we can continue our run in that. And I don't know if that generates any money. I don't know if it's like the FA Cup in England, where if we do start to go deep in that, perhaps it will throw some cash at us. I suspect that might not be the case, because the more time I spend here in Greece, the more I'm starting to realise the reason we've got no money is because there is no money. It's not just that we don't have our share of it. There's not really any to share around. So we need to figure that out. I need Mrs Wearmouth to stick her hand in her pocket and solve that problem. It's all well and good building this big fancy youth academy thing, but you can't win anything with kids, apparently. We might have to. It might be about to become more of a youth academy challenge than I was planning on it being. It was only a semi-youth academy challenge before, but we genuinely can't find any players. Right, Thomas has won us a penalty. Nikos to take. In other news, I noticed with Nikos, we changed his name to Nikos because we couldn't pronounce his surname. Backup striker, also called Nikos Ioannidis. So we've got 2 Nikoses. And at least I can say his surname. Probably. A 10th goal of the season for him. We are going to miss him when he goes off to Germany in the summer. That's what I get for loading the German leagues in this save. Rubbish. Right. Let's put all our off-the-field troubles behind us and just continue accumulating points, because I guess it now becomes a race against time. How many points can we accumulate before morale falls through the floor, before all of our players leave? Can we secure that promotion before the squad just falls apart in one way or another? And then it can be a problem for future Kev what to do when we get there to try and stay in the Super League with no players and nobody wants to be here and no money to replace them. That's a problem for the future. For now, let's just get there. Iritia down the left-hand side. We're not going to be able to say that many more times. He's another one who's got the 100% sell. How are those 100% sell-on things even a thing? Straight red for that foul on him as well there. But to me, that's completely unheard of. 100% sell-on clauses. And it seems to be all the Argentinian players. We mentioned when we arrived, there was a lot of Brazilians and Argentinians here. The Brazilians don't have that clause. All of the Argentinians have that clause. So, to me, there's something very fishy going on here. Very fishy indeed. Right, Karagounis is going to come on to play on that right-hand side. Fat John doesn't want to be here anymore, so Cole can come on for him. He's more of an attacking midfielder, so Blazic can go across to play as the box-to-box midfielder, even though that does lessen Blazic's attacking impact somewhat, and I think he might be our top scorer. I think he might have even scored more goals than Nikos. Talking of Nikos, why have we not got Ioannidis on the bench? We'll bring Markovsky on then, who is a guy who I'd never heard of until very recently, but apparently he exists. So let's bring him on. Oh, he wants to be a target man. I mean, so much new is happening on this save. Let's play it. Let's use a target man. I'm using wingers. I'm using target men. We're having to develop youth, and I've got no money to spend. This is like an anti-Kev save. Sooner or later, the real Kev is going to emerge from behind me, wrestle back control of the channel, and sort out all this nonsense that's going on in this series. I am not happy with how this has gone today. Very, very not happy. But we have won 12 games in a row. So that's a positive. Right, we will probably go unless the cup gets super interesting, we'll go all the way through to the end of the standard season now. Come back tomorrow with probably the last 2 games of this, or relevant cup games if that's more interesting, and then see how this championship group pans out from there. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.